Hey y'all, if you are new here, welcome. If you're a subscriber, then you're probably wondering why it took longer than usual to upload a video. As you may have heard from my last video or my last community post, I went on vacation on August 15th. I was supposed to return on September 2nd, but I ended up getting sick during the final leg of my European vacation, so I came home a week early. I'm in the post-viral stage, so that's good. I had a wonderful time visiting Berlin and Prague, beautiful cities with rich history. The final spot on the vacation was London, which I visited already 15 years ago, but because I was sick, I mostly stayed in the hotel. My parents had a wonderful time. Anyways, enough about my vacation. Let's get to this video's subject. As I promised, I will be reviewing another set of books I read that had pretty covers. As usual, I'll talk about what about the cover attracted me to it, the summary of the book, and what I loved and not loved about the book itself. Disclaimers if we move on. Just because I read a book with a pretty cover, it doesn't mean I enjoyed it. There is a chance I may not like your favorite book or author, our opinions may not match, and that's okay. Let's keep the comment section civil. Another note to add is that a lot of these books have content that may not be favorable to some readers. If I do forget some content warnings, I suggest using Storygraph. My profile is in the link tree. You could also follow me through there or other platforms I may have, and you'll see the wordings in my reviews or the reviews of others. First one up, Lavender House by Love A.C. Rosen. Book 1 in the Evander Mills series. Any shade of violet is one of my favorite colors, so that's a given. Also, it looks so mysterious and ominous with the shadow of a staircase banister. As I continued reading, I kept going back to the cover and realized why the shading was like this. Like, look, it's a silhouette of a woman. Well, an inverse silhouette, or however you want to call it. Not only does the lavender appeal to me, but also it's complements with other colors of gold and red, and rabbits. We got rabbits here. So now you're wondering, woman, gold, rabbits? Not to mention one of them is dead and got some blood on it. Okay, let's summarize this book. We are in 1952, San Francisco. Gay rights are threatened. It is illegal to be a gay man. So, the police are cracking down, especially when they catch Detective Evander Andy Mills in a gay bar raid. Now Andy is fired, and he needs a job. This is when he is hired by the widow of Irene Lamontagne. The Lamontaignes are known for their perfumes, and they are quite wealthy, so of course, why not take it? We enter a world of not only opulence, but an oasis of liberty and self-expression. As almost every member of the Lamontagne family is queer. Even the help is queer. When I read the summary for this, it was described as a Knives Out with a queer historical twist. I read this book before watching Knives Out, but I agree. What I love about this book is how the protagonist Andy navigates through the mystery behind Irene's death and how he navigates between this old and new life. There are instances of homophobia, as well as our character being attacked for his sexuality. There is a death of an animal. And there was a really gross scene towards the end of the book that grossed me out. Apparently the author kept this in despite his editor or his publisher's advice. Honestly, keeping this in just adds another layer of what the effery in this book, so I kind of go over that quickly. What I didn't like, I don't know. I didn't have much that I didn't like about this book. I guess it was how Irene really died, just kind of confused me. Other than that, I really enjoyed this book, and I will continue the series. Beautyland by Marie-Helene Bertino. Continuing on with the purple theme, this next book was written by a former faculty of my grad school, and this edition I have was signed by her. I don't get that often. The cover of Beautyland is just beautiful. We have this triangular prism thing that reminds me of Star Wars, which sort of makes sense. This book is a fictional biography of Adina Giorno, who was born on the same day that Voyager 1 was launched. We have excerpts of history from Carl Sagan to the journey of Voyager 1, as well as the life of Adina. She's not like the others, you know. She thinks differently, sees the world differently, and lives a difficult life with her single mother in Philadelphia. Reading this book, I found myself relating to Adina and the process of her mind. That was one of the things I liked about this book. I will say, this book has a tragic ending, and in my opinion, this was the perfect tribute. I will not go any further than that. I'm not spoiling. What I didn't like about this book, it would have to be the fact that Adina dismisses the possibility that she may be autistic or neurodivergent. I'm autistic, I have ADHD, I also have childhood trauma, but we're not talking about that. It just felt like a tiny knife in the chest when I read that. Neurotypes like autism or ADHD, just to name a few, have been highly contested and stigmatized for much of the past few centuries, so 19th, 20th, 21st, and we are still fighting to break the stigma and be accommodated for our needs so we can work just as well as our neurotypical peers. When I was diagnosed with ADHD, my parents did not let me have medication to help my ADHD. So I was fighting against myself all my life. I was trying my hardest with my memory, speeding up my actions so I wouldn't be deemed slow or unworthy, and trying to be taken seriously and not be infantilized. When Adina dismissed her possible autism diagnosis, I felt my heart breaking. I guess to Adina, to be told that she's autistic is like saying whatever she believes is not real and autism is the hysteria diagnosis. Since you're autistic, you belong in this box and say goodbye to however you were treated before this diagnosis because you can never get that back. I'm just speculating from that dismissal. Don't take my words as truth. Hopping back on what I like that Adina has this good relationship with her fax machine. Let me elaborate. Adina believes she has knowledge from another planet, and she uses the fax machine to transmit her findings about Earth because she believes she was sent to Earth as that planet's representative. This fax machine is an outlet for Adina's creativity and strong beliefs. I like to believe that her mother was the one responding to her and letting Adina believe that it was her people calling to her. I love this book, and I would recommend it. Now for the next book, which I would love to talk about, but oh wait! I can't talk about this book. It was published by an imprint currently being boycotted. Yes, that is right. This book was published by an imprint of St. Martin's Press. Since October of 2023, a few days after an attack on a music festival in Israel, an employee at St. Martin's Press was called out for making Islamophobic and queerphobic comments about the current events between Israel and Palestine. Since then, SMB has not made a clear statement regarding this employee, and the book community has been boycotting his publisher as well as his imprints. I know St. Martin's Press has made a statement a while ago, but come on, really, being as vague as you want to be to catch yourself? Come on, we're better than that. The demands are not that demanding, but we are demanding them. I will attach some links that further explore this boycott, as well as the creator who called for this boycott. Moving on to books published by publishers not being boycotted. So Let Them Burn by Camila Cole. When I first laid eyes on this book, I was immediately taken by the many shades of pink. Pink is my least favorite color, but I'll make an exception for this. You know why? Woman. Okay, but most importantly, dragons. Dragons! I love how the pinks blend well with the dark blues. Very eye-catching. And if you look closely at the girl, you'll see that she's wearing armor. She is off to war.
It was a bust from the get-go. We leave at daybreak.
What's with you and daybreak?
This book takes place during colonial-era Jamaica, except our protagonist Farron once wielded the power of the gods to overthrow the colonists, the Langlish Empire. The colonists still reside there, but Jamaica isn't Jamaica. According to this map, the bigger island is called Nova. Our main characters live on St. Irie, which is looked over by the god Irie. I love the world building we have here, as well as the names. For instance, the town our protagonists live in is called Dead Egg. It reminds me of Jennifer's Body, the hometown being named Devil's Kettle. On the summary, Farron, having defeated the Langlish Empire, can call on the gods whenever she wants, even if she doesn't need to. This is an overpowered main character trope. She has an older sister named Alsira, and I find this interesting because There's a sense of favoritism despite the fact that Farron is the younger sibling. Farron is forced to go to a peace meeting with the Langlish Empire, and there, Farron discovers that her sister has bonded with a dragon, making her a member of the Langlish Empire. Farron called on the gods to break the bond, but that would mean killing her sister. I won't spoil anything, but I do love the sisterly bond and the exploration of sexuality. I found this book has some similarities to Tracy Deon's Legendborn in terms of magic systems, legends, and dragons. The one thing I have about Selectimur is that I wish we got more descriptions about the dragons, more screen times for the dragon. Like, are there also dragons who don't want to be bonded to humans? I am looking forward to the sequel, and maybe possibly, but I feel this is redundant, a prequel on how Farron got her powers? I don't know, just spitballing. Hell's Paradise Volume 1 by Yuji Kaku. I haven't watched anime since high school, and I've been trying to get into manga and anime again. Remember the first manga I got? I was about 10 or 9. I called it a Japanese comic book, and I really loved it. I don't remember the name, but there was this character, I believe it was a boy or a girl, and somehow they're cooking with their grandmother or their mother, and they discovered these sprites or little orbs that turned out to be fruit chibis. If you have an idea what I'm talking about, please let me know in the comments, and I apologize for calling a manga a Japanese comic book. I was a kid. Anyways, now into adulthood. One of the first mangas I bought was Volume 1 of Hell's Paradise by Yuji Kaku. One of the first things that got me about this book was the cover. We see this white-haired guy sort of defying the horizon, and there's paint splats all over. It's kind of punk, very screw the conventional sort of thing. So in this first volume, we meet Gabimaru, the Hollow, an emotionless ninja on death row, and he's being executed multiple times. The thing is, something inside him is preventing him from dying. That's when Sagiri enters the scene. She is an executioner from a well-known clan, even if her clan doesn't want women to be executioners. Through Sagiri's help and urging, we find out that Gabimaru will not die until he meets his wife again. His wife is a sheep's daughter, and she helps our emo hero feel again.
I'm having feelings again. Like some kind of 14-year-old kid or something. I mean, you remember feelings, right?
Yeah, I have feelings every single day of my life.
Do you? Are you saying you don't have feelings?
Sagiri offers him a pardon if they can obtain the elixir of life. Through this journey, Gabimaru is tested to the limit, and Sagiri faces misogyny at the hands of her peers. I love how we have two journeys, and one of them is feminist friendly. What I didn't like about this volume, I don't have much to say on that. I feel like every book with a pretty cover I've read is usually high rated, but not all of them are. Last but not least, We Are Totally Normal by Naomi Kanakia. When I first saw this book, I thought it was going to be an easy summer breeze. It was not. Let me stay on the cover for a moment. I love the warm sunset meeting with the deep purple characters. This feels like a movie poster where we're able to pinpoint who our main characters are. Like a chance meeting, and we are chasing that moment of nostalgia, summer bliss. I wish this book was summer bliss. You see, I like that we have a coming-of-age story, along with exploring one's identity. What I don't like is a very problematic main character who never learns this lesson, and should never have that ending. We have Nandan, our main character, and he's getting over his ex, and he wants to help his friend Dave get into the popular scene. Before Nandan and Dave ever met, Nandan never liked guys. That is until he and Dave hooked up after a party. Now all the emotions were spiraling out of control. While I like the self-exploration, I'm constantly bothered by how manipulative Nandan is, and how he's dismissive of labels like asexuality or bisexual. Don't ever insult my communities. I was honestly hoping that he got some sort of awakening other than the one he got with Dave, and he just tried to mend his ways. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Another thing is that there are certain moments that were glossed over, such as Nandan coming out to his mother. Like, I would have loved a conversation about that. Give us something. Well, that was the end of that. I hope you all enjoyed me either praising or berating your faves. I will have more videos coming out, but I will take my time as I still have COVID. Don't forget, my second poetry book, Death Rose, is coming out this November. I will have pre-orders up soon. Be on the lookout through my community tab or other social media platforms that you follow me on. If you have a topic that you'd like me to talk about, let me know in the comments below. Please donate to my Ko-Fi and use my affiliate links. Every little bit counts, especially if you buy my first poetry book, Kaleidoscope, on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, or Blurb. This will definitely help your unemployed, recently graduated 25-year-old still living with her parents. Don't forget to hydrate and be safe. Bye!